This is Philip, and today's video is all about campfire cooking. This will be a sort of compilation of some videos that I've done previously to hopefully give you some ideas on things that you can do and cook on your next camp out. Stay tuned. Alright, we're going to try some toasted bagel breakfast sandwiches. First thing we got to do is toast the bagels. Got a little bit of oil in the cast iron skillet. Get the skillet hot enough, split your bagels, toast them a little bit. Of course, if you're working with oil over a campfire, you do need to be careful because the oil is flammable and you have flames that are kind of hard to control. You want to have a low fire, mostly coals, not a big raging fire. Basically, if you can hold your hand about this close to the fire and without burning yourself, that's probably about good for cooking most things. In my camp kitchen, there's always an oven mitt. I'm not burning myself. Once the pan's hot, you can easily move it somewhere, pick it up, take it off the fire to kind of control the heat a little better until your bagels are toasted well. Oh yeah, we're getting there. So we brought a little lunch meat for lunch and just buy a little extra. This is turkey, and we're just going to fry it a little bit in the pan that's already hot from toasting the bagel. Fry it up a little bit, and that'll go on our sandwiches. Sometimes on a camp out, it's easiest to just get some lazy food. This is turkey lunch meat. That's what that is. So you get an extra pound and cook that up for breakfast, for the breakfast sandwiches. Turkey cooks up pretty fast. I have to pick the pan off of the heat, actually, every once in a while to keep it from burning. So our pan with the turkey in it is just hot enough that we were able to set it someplace, and it's cooking on its own. Had to take it off the fire, it's getting too hot. Now we're going to do some eggs. Got a small pan, but we'll get enough done for the whole family. So there's always questions about eggs on a camping trip. If you have store-bought eggs, you have to refrigerate those. If you have washed eggs, you have to refrigerate those. We have our own hens, and so these are natural eggs that the hens laid. They are not washed, and so they do not need to be refrigerated. They'll last for weeks without being refrigerated. So that's what we're using today. Sometimes with a fire, it's just too hot, and you lift the pan a little bit, get it off the heat, let it cool back down before you put it back on. Had to change batteries, almost burning the eggs. This time I'm just going to scramble these up, cook them more like an omelet. We'll cut them when we're done. So about the eggs, if you have your own chickens and you have eggs that you don't wash, if you just have them dry, when a chicken lays them, they're sealed, and you just keep them dry, you don't wash them, and you just brush them off, dust them off, make sure that they don't have things on it that you don't want in your eggs, but you don't wash them with water. If you wash them with water, you wash off the seal, and that egg will have to be refrigerated from that day forward, because if it's not, it will spoil. Little more meat. Yes, I will fry a whole pound of turkey lunch meat just to feed this group. And normally it takes about a dozen eggs to feed them as well. Loosen that egg up. If you have enough oil cooking over a campfire, it's not that different from cooking at home. You just have to, you can't control the heat, so you have to pick up your pan, move your pan. But as you can see, I mean, I'm cooking eggs over the campfire. It's not that hard, they're not burned.
Hey, you're not in the kitchen.
All right, you take your toasted bagel, a little cream cheese, spread that on there. Get your cream cheese all over that nice toasted bagel. I toasted both sides of the bagel, so I'm gonna cream cheese on both sides of the bagel. Next, you put on some of that. Toasted lunch meat. Put that on there. Get your egg right on top of that. Put the top on the bagel. Toasted bagel breakfast sandwich, cooked over a campfire. So my family likes bagels with things in it. These are raisin and cinnamon bagels, but you can get them with all kinds of different stuff in. Try it out. It's very good. Simple and easy to do for a campfire breakfast. Need to get your fire going again. Sometimes you can blow on it, or you just take your oven mitt, if you brought one, and you can fan it. The trick with Campfire Coffee, this is a campfire percolator. You just put in the water and the coffee. You end up with some grounds in there. So what you do is, once your coffee's done, you put a little cold water down the spout, and then you just let it sit someplace, and that'll help all the grounds to settle to the bottom. Oh yeah. All right, got a cast iron pan with a good bit of oil in it. Get on the fire, get the oil hot, and in go the peppers. I'm not sure if my oil's hot yet, hot enough yet, so I'll put one pepper in there, and when it looks like it's frying, I'll add the rest. All right, ready for the peppers. Thank you. Can I have a spatula, please? Let me fry those peppers until they break down a little bit and start to caramelize in the pan. Alright, those are starting to cook up pretty good. You don't want huge roaring flames. You got to have a little flame to fry. Plenty of oil. Steak. Put the steaks on now. Check the peppers. Yeah, they're cooking. I want to turn that fire up a little bit. I want to put a little bit more wood under there. I already put some under there, but I think I'm going to put a little bit more. I want it a little bit hotter so these fry up a little quicker. See, when I had one pan on there, I could keep my pan in the middle so it had good heat. Now the trouble I have is I have two pans and there's not a lot of heat on the outside. They divide the fire a little bit. Try to get a better heat, even heat. Another alternative when you have that problem is to just turn your pan. Oh yeah, those are starting to caramelize, starting to get real nice. Can I get my steak seasoning, please? steaks are doing very well. A little bit too hot for them right now. With my secret seasoning. Can I get a knife to check these steaks? All right, we'll need our tomatoes next. Can you get the tomatoes, please? Ooh, don't need a leaf in there. A little bit of cherry tomatoes. Fry those up a little bit. All right, cherry tomatoes. I just like to cook them until they look a little bit fried, start to get soft. And at that point, they're done. You don't want to make them into mush. All right, on the tomatoes, you see how the skins are starting to come off. They get soft, the skins start to come off. They start getting these little fried areas on them. They get real wilty. Those are done. Pick your steak. Got the peppers on there, got the tomatoes on there, little avocado on there, and of course the steak. Campfire steak. You can do this on a camp out too. All right, coals are ready. All right, so doing a French toast today, campfire French toast. Gonna put a little oil in the skillet. So this is really simple campfire French toast. This is just egg. We had a little bit of powdered milk, and some egg. Pre-sliced bread, homemade bread, of course. Just put it in there. Get it coated with egg real good. Both sides if possible. Throw the other one in there for me. My fry pan's not very big, so just be able to do a couple at a time. You got to keep it from sticking, so you want to make sure you have enough oil in there. And the campfire is hotter than your stove, so you got to check it more often and make sure it stays loose so you don't fry it to the pan. Oh yeah, it's frying up real nice. Getting so hot I got to take it off the fire. It's still frying. Keep it loose and make sure you have plenty of oil. Keep it loose. I'll flip it a couple of times here. Pretty much done, but I like it a little bit browned, a little bit more of a crust on it than that, so see if we can get that to toast up a little bit better. Those are done, I would say. Pretty much, those are done. Yeah, so the French toast turned out pretty good. We're gonna plate it up here. There's yours. I'm just gonna eat out of the frying pan. I'm not gonna do any more dishes than I gotta do, especially on a camping trip. Oh, look at that. French toast on a camping trip. Pretty easy to do. Not as fancy as, I don't know, you might make it home. Okay, everybody seems to like the idea of s'mores. There's different ways to do it. But if you get this marshmallow fluff is what we get. It comes in a jar. It's not made with gelatin or any of that sort of thing. And you can smear it on your graham cracker. It's much easier. And then, of course, you set your chocolate on there then, and then all that's really needed then is to warm it slightly if you want to melt your chocolate and melt it all together. Let's see if I can avoid getting the marshmallow in my beard. Good stuff. All right, time to get the steak on, I think, and that steak is grass-fed, organic, home-raised beef. We're just going to lay that right on the coals. It'll get that smokiness, and it'll cook it. You don't want to overdo it.
Before placing the meat on the coals, it's a good idea to fan away the ash before you're placing the meat on the coals.
This is a real simple way to cook because you don't need any utensils. The coals they're not gonna hurt anything, at least not that I've ever experienced. Should be fine. Thank you. Don't think my coals are hot enough. So the cut of meat that this is a loin steak. Loin steaks are going to be more tender. As you can see, they cut very easy. This is a sharp knife, but I'm hardly using any pressure to draw across it. Basically, I've cut it through. They're a very tender steak to begin with, so you don't really need to do a lot to them. Just a little salt and pepper on it, smoke it on the fire. Just knock the coals off the best you can, then most of them fall off. They don't really stick very much. This imparts a nice smoky flavor into the meat as well as cooking it. Got one of these camping cutting boards, just a piece of plastic, rolls up, fits in the backpack real nice. See how nice that meat cuts? I'd like mine done a little bit more than that. So right back on it goes. Cooking over the campfire is a little slower. You can't regulate the heat very well. Coals are what you want. You don't want big roaring flames that you really can't control. But coals is what you want. It's more even heat, more predictable. You know what's going to happen. But like I say, it's slower cooking. It's more looking for doneness and knowing what doneness is, not stick it in on a certain temperature for so many minutes. You just hold it so it doesn't move, and I'll just cut it on the cutting board. Alright, let me turn it. Hold it. Alright. Alright. Doesn't take much to cut it. Good and tender. Back up. If I had a table, this would be a lot easier, but I don't. I could just lay this right on the ground, but I like to keep it up a little bit. Help. It's not just good, it's real good. What do you think?
That's pretty good.
So how to keep your meat fresh on when you're going camping in your backpack? Use a little cooler pack and put some dry ice in there, dry ice packs. Put them in there. It works. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. That gives us a like on YouTube. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well. And share this video with your friends. And if you want to receive notifications next time we post another video, hit that notification bell as well. All right, thank you. See you on the next one.